Leo VIII in 1903 to be buried outside the Vatican, and the last pope to be buried inside the Santa Maria Major was in 1969, and that was the burial of Clement IV. And so this, of course, igniting a lot of history and setting its own precedent, to Pope Francis's own precedent. His desire to be entombed in the Santa Maria Major was made in 2013. It is a basilica that is located in the heart of Rome, a 5th century church. Is a building you see on your screens there, holding the tombs of 7 popes already. The last, as I just mentioned, was Clement the Fourth in Leo the Eighth, I beg your pardon, in 1903. Now, Francis was very devoted, as we've heard, to the worship of the Virgin Mary, and made a point to pray in this very basilica before leaving on trips abroad and upon his return. Most recently, he prayed to the icon of the Virgin Mary inside the basilica on the 12th of April, just a few days ago, to mark the beginning of the Holy Week that culminated in Easter. The interior of the Santa Maria Major remains close to its origins. I mean, we've seen snippets of it just a few moments ago. The central nave is lined by about 40 Ionic columns that contain exquisite mosaics, making the church look truly, truly beautiful. One legend ties the basilica to the Virgin Mary from its origin, saying that a childless, wealthy Roman couple once wanted to donate their possessions to the Virgin Mary, as after she appeared to them in a vision and told them to build a church in her honor where a miracle would take place. It is said that snow fell that summer night in August on the hill where this very same basilica now stands. According to the Vatican, however, nothing remains of that original church from 5 decades ago. So the construction of the current basilica, which you see here, began several years ago, which holds some of the most important relics, an icon of the Virgin Mary holding the baby Jesus, and that is attributed to the Saint Luke himself. And so we are yet to see what will be taking place outside the basilica itself, knowing that the burial ceremony will be a private ceremony. You're watching a special coverage of the funeral mass as well as the burial service for Pope Francis, which is taking place currently at the St. Mary's Major in Rome, the final resting place as part of the wishes of Pope Francis himself. His coffin arriving at the St. Mary's Major after a 6-kilometer procession from the St. Peter's Square in the Vatican. Hundreds of thousands of Catholic faithful have lined up the streets to pay their last respects to the Pope, whose body has been carried in a very simple wooden coffin as per his wishes. And in studio with us, we've been with Father Benedict Edugu, who's been giving us context on what this day and the proceedings and the traditions seen today mean for the Catholic faithful and the Catholic Church moving forward. Father Benedict, thank you so much for staying on with us at NTV. As we wind up, the Pope's coffin is now at the St. Mary's Major, a place he held very, very close to his heart. The burial, however, will be a private process. What do you make of that, considering that hundreds of thousands wanted to see this process, and what do you expect after it?
I think it's a respect for the solemn moment is going on right now. We've all participated. It is fitting to recognize the solemn moment that it is, to recognize our reverence even for the dead at a moment of burial, as is going on more so for the Pope himself. So I think we are all with that moment, though private, in our hearts, recognizing the dignity of that moment in the liturgy that is unfolding.
All right, perhaps your